Tonight, we're in Cornelius, North Carolina, a lakeside town that still keeps a porch light on for a girl who should be in high school right now. On November 21st, 2022, 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari stepped off her school bus. That's the last time she was ever seen.
Weeks passed before anyone called the police. Weeks. And every day since, the questions got heavier. Where is Madalina? Who last saw her? And why did it take 22 days to tell the authorities?
What's the emergency?
No problem. All units are I'm at the corner of Pleasant Hill and John Young Freeway.
Madalina lived with her mother, Diana Cojocari, and her stepfather, Christopher Palmiter. Surveillance shows Madalina getting off the school bus outside her home on November 21st, 2022. She was not reported missing until December 15th, 2022, when a school resource officer followed up on her continued absence. That delay led to both adults being charged with failure to report a missing child.
Here are the legal outcomes since then. In May 2024, Diana pled guilty to failing to report. She received time served and was later confirmed by federal officials to have been deported from United States to her home country of Moldova. In May 2024, a jury found Palmiter guilty of failing to report. He received supervised probation. These are reporting failure convictions. No one's been charged with harming Madalina. The search for her continues. Let's anchor the dates. November 21st, 2022. Bus cam shows Madalina getting off near her home. November 23rd through 24th. Conflicting statements later emerge about the last time the mother says she saw her. December 15th. The school contacts the police. A missing persons case opens.
Investigators quickly broaden search areas, including waterways, and unsealed warrants in January 2023 began sketching in the early evidence picture. Over time, more documents have trickled out. In January 2025, newly surfaced warrants added details: a backyard fire with burned items, questions around cash and payments to a priest in Moldova, and phone records reflecting a significant WhatsApp call. None of this has, on its own, answered the core question: where is Madalina?
The case remains active. In April 2025, Cornelius police release a new age progression image for Madalina's 14th birthday, a public nudge to keep looking. Official channels still ask for tips, and there's up to a $25,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction related to her disappearance.
That's the heartbeat of this story. She's still missing. Tonight, we'll be meticulous with facts. We'll separate what's documented from what's theorized, and we'll flag what's uncertain.
It's been since this young girl went missing in Mecklenburg County, and to this day, the question remains, where is Madalina? Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Siobhan Bryan.
And I'm John Carter. For more than 2 years, we've been telling you about Madalina Cojocari. She was 11 years old when she was last seen publicly getting off her school bus in Cornelius. Well, today is Madalina's 14th birthday, and with it comes new developments. Cornelius police today releasing its first ever age progression photo of what Madalina could look like today, a picture which police are hoping can help solve the case.
Public documents show that investigators scrutinized the home environment, who lived there, who had access, and any explanations for the reporting delay. The failure to report convictions don't tell us what happened, but they do confirm one fact. Authorities believe those lost weeks severely damaged the search.
Those later unsealed warrants paint a troubling picture. Reports that personal items and photos were burned in a fire pit. References to stains collected for sampling. Mentions of payments totaling around $4,000 to a priest in Moldova. and communications indicating possible overseas contacts. These are investigative leads, not final answers, but they inform reasonable lines of inquiry.
There were also reports, early in the case, of mountain area movements by family members after the last verified sighting. Some coverage noted a separate, unconfirmed image that was physically consistent with Madalina, but nothing publicly confirmed her location after November 21st. This is where we have to be disciplined. Interesting details versus confirmed facts.
Courtroom outcomes matter for context. Christopher Palmiter, guilty of failing to report a missing child. The jury deliberated quickly. The sentence included 30 months supervised probation. Diana Cojocari pled guilty in May 2024. Time served, and later left the U.S. as confirmed by federal officials and local outlets. Again, these are reporting failure charges. The core missing person investigation is separate and ongoing.
The departure of a key figure from U.S. soil complicates any future proceedings and public confidence. But investigators have said repeatedly they're still working on the case.
Let's talk about the most recent wave of documents in January 2025. They indicated investigators explored the possibility of exploitation early on, collected stains for testing, and documented financial and communication threads to Moldova. That doesn't declare a motive, it shows scope. This is why tips remain vital. Investigators need corroboration to elevate leads into evidence.
And as those documents emerged, law enforcement also re-amplified tip lines and age progression imagery in April of 2025, showing they're pushing both the forensic and public awareness fronts in parallel.
Tonight, our team has obtained even more unsealed warrants in the Madalina Cojocari case, and it's revealing some new details in this investigation to find the missing Cornelius girl. After getting our hands on these unsealed warrants, WCNC Charlotte's Julia Kaufman went to the Cornelius Police Department for answers.
It's been over 2 years since Madalina Cojocari was officially reported missing, and the Cornelius Police Department is still searching for her, still hanging this sign outside the agency. I spoke with the deputy chief just hours ago. She tells me this case will not go cold, and as for leads, nothing is off the table.
The first theory is that Madalina was hidden, perhaps placed with relatives abroad. The reason it's discussed is that statements during proceedings hinted at the idea that she might be with family in Moldova. And later, Diana's confirmed departure from the U.S. adds a data point. What's missing is any verified sighting or official confirmation of Madalina's presence outside the U.S. The bus stop footage on November 21st remains the last independently verified image.
Investigators would need travel records, financials, communications, and ideally, corroborating tips to advance this. Some warrant details about overseas WhatsApp contact and payment to a priest sketch possible international vectors, but they're not conclusions.
Theory 2 is exploitation by third parties connected to or distinct from the household. Why it's discussed is a 2025 warrant references a focus, at least early in the probe, on believed exploitation of a minor. That explains certain digital and financial lines of inquiry. What's missing is any public charging document or confirmed chain of custody placing Madalina with such actors.
It's important to underline that warrants reflect what investigators sought, not what they ultimately proved. Still, if you know of online communications, transfers, or travel around late November to December of 2022, that could matter.
Theory 3 is that something happened at or near home shortly after the bus drop-off. The reason this one is discussed is the backyard burn reports, the photos, belongings, even a mattress referenced in reporting, stain collection, and the reporting delay. What's missing is a recovered body, a crime scene with dispositive lab results, or direct eyewitness testimony.
This theory often surfaces when personal items are destroyed and timelines shift. But again, we do not have public lab-confirmed findings that close the loop. It remains an open hypothesis among several. Theory 4, she left voluntarily and stayed hidden. Why it's discussed? Some missing youths manage to avoid detection for weeks or months. What limits it here? The age. The school-to-home verified sighting. The absence of reliable sightings after November 21st and the late report. Those all lessen the statistical likelihood, but don't make it impossible.
Here's what we don't know. Madalina's location after November 21st, 2022, the evidentiary weight of collected materials referenced in warrants, or whether any single theory outruns the others in closed file briefings. That's why verifiable tips still matter.
We want to know what your theory is. Please comment on this video with your thoughts about what you think is most likely.
And we're going to start new tonight with this. A look at the last time the FBI says 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari was last seen alive. So here we see it. This is video of her getting off the school bus. This was November 21st. You might remember her mom said that she hadn't seen her since November 23rd, but didn't report her missing until December 15th.
On April 11th, 2025, police released an age progression image for what would be Madalina's 14th birthday. That's not just for visuals, it's to refresh our mental model of what she might look like today. If you're watching on YouTube, we're showing that image now.
These refreshes are coordinated with NCMEC and local law enforcement, because the next lead might come from someone who's been carrying a vague memory from 2022. If you know anything about the whereabouts of Madalina Cojocari, contact the Cornelius Police Department detectives 704-892-7773. This is the official tip line frequently cited by Cornelius Police and local media. The alternative Cornelius PD and NC SBI lines referenced in recent reward notices at 704-892-1363 for Cornelius PD or 919-662-4500 for North Carolina SBI. The FBI Charlotte Field office at 704-672-6100 or submit online at tips.fbi.gov. Tips can be anonymous. The FBI Missing Persons poster. Case details and contacts. Search FBI Madalina Cojocari.
You can also share the age progression image from official sources and make sure your networks see it. The $25,000 reward for information is active in multiple local postings. Amplify that too.
And if you have material for us to pass along, you can reach Crime Solver Central via our site. We'll forward substantive tips directly to investigators.
We've walked through competing theories and have been careful to label them as such. The record shows reporting failures by the adults in the home and evolving warrants with concerning details. But until investigators confirm a chain of evidence, what matters most is keeping our eyes open.
Someone knows something. It could be a memory of a car, a date, a conversation, or a location in late November to December of 2022. Please make the call for Madalina.
This has been Crime Solvers Central. If you found this insightful, share this episode, post the official age progression image, and keep the tip lines in your phone. We'll keep covering this case with care as new documents surface and authorities release updates.
Good night, and until we see you again, stay safe, stay curious, and stay loud.